All right, so I've been playing Star Wars Outlaws. This is the latest Star Wars game. Um, it's being made by Ubisoft Massive, which I think at the moment they're most well known for like the Division games, from what I understand, and I think they're generally speaking considered to be one of the more well liked Ubisoft studios. I don't know. I'm not like too big into Ubisoft games, but that's kind of the vibe I get. So yeah, this game has been rife with some controversy. I think most people have been like underwhelmed by what they've seen, and so I've played like a couple hours. I think at this point I've done the tutorial bit intro at the beginning where it kind of like gets you acclimated with the controls. And then I did get to a point where I got the speeder bike, and I didn't necessarily try to explore too much, but I assume I could have explored around the open world. But at that point, I immediately kind of just like jumped into like the first proper mission that you can do, and so I had to like raid this like syndicate base, and steal something. It's like a job that I got, and I gotta say, I'm really liking the game so far. So I'll say this. First off, I think the thing that this does the best is just have really cool vibes. Like, it just feels cool to be in the Star Wars universe as like a Han Solo-esque like smuggler, not really smuggler, but just like a little criminal, little mercenary for hire character. Just walking around the Star Wars world. It's very detailed, and I like all the NPCs are like busy doing stuff, and it just feels cool, you know. And then as far as the character that you're playing as, her name is Kay Vess, and I really like her. I think she's very cute and charming. She's very like she presents as like a female Han Solo, but I feel like she's a lot more like Nathan Drake coded, in the sense that Han Solo is very arrogant and smug. Kay Vess isn't really that. She's much more like Nathan Drake, sort of kind of charming and like in a bit of an awkward way. You know, she's like kind of funny. So in that, I mean, I think it's a good way to differentiate her from Han Solo. She doesn't just feel like a copycat of Han Solo, and I really like her. I think maybe like a bit of a weak point is just the overall narrative so far. Like, it's not it's not The Last of Us. I can't say that like it has like the most incredible cinematic storytelling. I'm very early on still, but I can't say that I'm like engrossed in the narrative. And I think that as far as like being like a movie game, like a very cinematic game, I do think that at least so far, Jedi Fallen Order is more successful. I haven't played Jedi Survivor yet, but it's not bad. Like it's completely serviceable. Like I'm still like interested in seeing where it plays out. And then yeah, and then speaking of the story, it's set like in the middle of the original trilogy. I want to say it's after A New Hope, but before. What's the second one called? I think Empire Strikes Back. Before Empire Strikes Back, because a character makes a reference to the Death Star blowing up, and you see like there's a point where you see like rebel forces and you see stormtroopers walking around and stuff, and yeah, it's very much set in the original trilogy era, which I think will probably be appealing to Star Wars fans. I don't know, are Star Wars fans sick of that era, or do they want games in the prequels or in the sequel trilogy? I don't fucking know. I'm just, I don't know. But yeah, but it feels like Star Wars, which I think is cool. I really like the music, actually. It's very like, it's almost like techno in a way, but it also like you get hints of that like John Williams score in it occasionally, which I think is really cool. Just because I was like, I remember the other day I was doing something on my phone, and so I was just kind of like on the opening menu for a long time, and I was like really listening and paying attention to the score, and it was like, oh, this is really good actually. I really like it. In terms of gameplay, so far from what I've played, I really like it as well. So she is not a force user, so you're not slashing people with lightsabers and whatnot, which I'm okay with. Like, obviously, having a lightsaber is cool, using the force is cool, but I also just like being a kind of a regular person in Star Wars. Like, having she has a blaster and she can, that she shoots guys with. She also, you can punch people if you get to them. There's like stealth in the game as well, so you can sneak up behind people and do silent takedowns. The other interesting gameplay element is, so Kay has a little companion, a little cute companion, because ever since Baby Yoda, you have to have a cute companion. You know what I mean? So there's this little like Axolotl looking motherfucker, and he's very cute. I think his name is Nyx. And he is actually useful. Like, you can like send him off to do things. So like, you can send Nyx off to like distract a guy if you need to get somewhere. He can like grab items for you. So like he there are like puzzles in the game where, oh, you have to hit a switch that Kay can't get to, so you hit Nyx, and Nyx can do it. So yeah, he's actually very cute, and he's very actually useful, and he's fun to use. Because I remember when I saw like the gameplay demonstrations that they would have at like one of like the Game Awards or one of those like game award shows. I remember like seeing it and I was like, I feel like that might be a little tedious in action. It's honestly not. It's very simple to use, and it's helpful, and it's fun. It is fun to use Nyx. And shooting is, I think it's good. I'm not, I should say as well, like where I'm coming at this, I am very much a not a hardcore gamer. I am a very casual gamer, so I don't have that much experience with shooters. It's a third person, like over the shoulder shooter. So like I think that's like Gears of War style, maybe. I don't know. But I think it feels good. I think the stealth feels good. Like I've been having fun doing stealth, and yeah, I think it plays well. And then the other interesting mechanic that I came across was, so like I got to a point where I think I mentioned earlier that I like raided a syndicate. I say raided. It's more that like I snuck into like a syndicate hideout and I stole some information. And then it got to a point where I could make a decision, because there are different like syndicates. The syndicates are like different clans. So like you have like the the Dark Crystal clan or Crimson Dawn clan or something. Yeah, I think it's Crimson Dawn. That's like the organization from Solo, where what Emilia Clarke is from. Like she's one of the syndicates. Then you have the Hutts, like that Jabba the Hutt rules over. Like he has a syndicate. And then there are the Pikes, which were in the Book of Boba Fett, unfortunately. They're in this too. And then I think there was another one. I don't remember. But yeah, but you could like kind of choose who you wanted to give the information to. I chose to give it to the Crimson Dawn guys, because the Pikes were the bad guys in Book of Boba Fett. I just decided to give it to the Crimson Dawn because who cares? That was my logic. And so that gave me favor with Crimson Dawn. So it's like you can kind of decide who you want to do stuff with. And, certain clans are going to dislike you. Other syndicates are going to like you more. And I'm very interested to see how that mechanic goes and if it's like, fleshed out in any way. So I like that there's actually some choice to what you can do. The other mechanic is there's like this lock picking mechanic that I actually think is kind of interesting. So it's like a rhythm based thing where anytime you go up to a lock that you can pick, it starts having this like rhythmic sequence, and then you have to press the button. Where I was using mouse and keyboard, so you had to like press the mouse on the beat, and it was kind of weird, but it was also kind of cute. I don't know, I liked it. It's like different from other lock picking mechanics that I've seen, and it's also one of those things like you can actually do it in the middle of like a stealth section, so you can also like while you're picking you can like look to see if people are coming, and I imagine that's going to be like tense in the future, but yeah, overall I think it's cool. I like the game so far. I think it's just a really neat, like, Star Wars simulator. I have not gotten deep into like aerial combat or anything like that. I haven't done that. I haven't really explored the world that much yet. But from what I've played so far, I like it. Now, I will get into something here that I think is a little silly. So, just to be clear, Ubisoft is they're doing shenanigans here. So, they have 3 different like editions of the game that you can get. You get the standard edition, which comes with the base game. They have the gold edition, which gives you 3 day, or in the standard edition is $70. They have the gold edition, which gives you like 3 days early access on the season pass. Then you have the ultimate edition for $130, which gives you everything that we talked about so far. And then it also gives you the Rogue Infiltrator bundle, the Sabak Shark bundle, and the digital art book. Awesome, I guess. And I will say, on the one hand, like, I see people complaining about this, like really hardcore complaining, and I don't really understand why, because it's like, yeah, so you get the gold edition, it gives you 3 days early access and the DLC, which is going to cost you more money anyways. I mean, I don't understand complaining about that. And the ultimate edition, I will say, gives you the digital art book, which is kind of cute, and it looks like skins, which is what the Rogue Infiltrator and the Sabak Shark are. They're like little skins. And my whole thing with that is that it's like, well, that's not worth the extra money. And it's like, then don't buy it. just get the standard edition or the gold edition, which gives you DLC, right? Like extra content. Now I will say there is also I think I remember there being like a Jabba the Hutt mission that is pardoned off into one of the bundles, and you can't actually get it if you just buy the base game. That kind of sucks if that's true. Like I that's definitely something to complain about, but I would also maybe look into it, because maybe it's not even that good of a mission anyways. But even still, that does suck. I'm not going to defend that. But I don't know, just in general, just buy the base game. Like, if you don't want to pay money for the DLC and the extra skins, like, you don't have to. So I don't really understand all the outrage over that. But it is stupid. Another aspect about this is stupid, because they try and act like the game costs $70. But for early access, to play it 3 days early, you can pay $110. And it's like, you're just playing word games. Just to be clear, the game... So, they're saying that the game launches on August 30th. That's not true. The game launched on August 27th. Right? 3 days beforehand. You're not getting early access on August 27th. That's when the game is out, and that's when you are paying $110 for the game. That's the actual price. On August 30th, at that point, you are then going to be able... They are going to discount the price, and then you can get it for $70. That's actually what's going on here, just to be clear. Like, they're playing word games, because they're like it, and I remember they did this with Starfield as well, where it's like, it feels like the video games industry wants to raise prices for video games, which is like, fine if you want to do that. Like, I don't, like, at the end of the day, like, people are going to pay for what they want to pay for what they can pay for. I don't really care, but like, let's just be clear about what's happening here. You know what I mean? So that's that. Now, I'm gonna glaze Ubisoft a little more here, because you actually don't have to do any of that. Because what you can do, which is what I did, was I bought the game, or I didn't buy the game. I subscribed to their subscription service, Ubisoft Plus, for $18 a month. and I got access to the game on launch day, which, to be clear, is August 27th and not August 30th. It gave me access to the game, and yeah, and I've actually been playing it by streaming it, because if you get the game through Ubisoft Plus, you can actually stream the game using Amazon Luna, which is Amazon's streaming service, which exists, if you didn't know, which you probably didn't. And I gotta say, it's been a pretty cool experience. Like, I know that video game streaming is kind of a meme. Like, Google Stadia coming and going is, like, embarrassing. But it works pretty well, to be honest. Like, I've played it at home with, like, the what is it called? The cable where you plug it your computer directly into the router. Yeah, it's Ethernet cable. I've played it through Ethernet. And honestly, like, granted, I'm stupid. I'm not like a techie guy. I don't care about frame rate. Like, I'm not somebody that's like, I need to play at 60 frames per second. Blah. So maybe if you're like hardcore into that stuff, maybe you would really notice the difference. But I couldn't feel the input lag. Like, legitimately, I couldn't. I even booted up Prince of Persia: The Lost Sands. Embarrassing moment for me. I actually got the subscription service on August 26th because for some reason I thought that that's when I would get access to the game. But so I got it on August 26th, and then I realized that the game wasn't out yet. So I booted up Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown just to test it out because I'd heard the game is good. And that's a very like quick, twitchy game. It's a 2D Metroidvania game. I couldn't even in a game like that. It was like flawless. I was actually pretty surprised. So yeah, it's a great experience. At least for me. I understand that it varies depending on where you live and whatnot. So maybe see because I think with Amazon Prime you get access to some games. I think you can also use Amazon Luna to play Fortnite. I think you can do that for free. So you might want to try it out to see if it's a good experience for you before you make the decision to get Ubisoft Plus. But another thing that I've been doing is I have this thing called the Razer Kishi, and I just like slot my phone into it. And like I've also been playing it with this over Wi-Fi, and it works really well. Like it like even using my phone over Wi-Fi, I don't even really feel the input lag there. I was honestly very surprised at how well it's worked, because I have used also xCloud, which I also enjoy, but even with xCloud, I'll be honest, I do feel the input lag. It doesn't bother me because, again, I'm not like a super techie guy where I'm like, I need 60 frames per second. When I've used xCloud in the past, like, I definitely feel it. Amazon Luna has been pretty flawless, even in terms of like resolution dropping. I haven't really experienced it on there. So I just say all this to say that, like, if you're like me, where you are po, and you maybe don't even necessarily have $70 to drop, I think it's worth it. Paying $18, getting access to the game, playing through it. Honestly, even if you don't end up liking Star Wars Outlaws, maybe you want to play some of the other games that are on the streaming service. Like, they have a bunch of Assassin's Creed games on there, or Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, which I know I've heard is very good. I enjoyed it the little bit that I've played it, because I was embarrassed because I was stupid and I got the subscription service a day early. But yeah, no, man. Overall, I really like Star Wars Outlaws. I like Ubisoft Plus, using Amazon Luna to stream the game. It's been a very good experience so far. Yeah, and I should mention, so obviously using the Razer Kishi, I was using like the controller controls, which are very good and intuitive. But I've also been using mouse and keyboard, and because it is a shooter, I actually do think that that's my preferred way to play it. But both ways are good, obviously. And yeah, I'm liking the game so far. Have you been playing it? Not early. Don't let Ubisoft gaslight you. You have not been playing it early. You've merely been playing it before they discount the price. Do not let them gaslight you. Have you been playing it as well? Let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. Are you going to get it if you haven't been playing it? Let me know why as well. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.